Hello, welcome back to Rose Spins a Yarn. So it's been about 3 weeks since my last podcast. I did one right before Thanksgiving, and then the weekend of Black Friday, Small Business Saturday came, and my store was packed. And thank you to all my customers. You guys are amazing. We had a little party here on Saturday for Small Business Saturday and a drawing. So if, I don't know, I sent out emails to the people that won the drawing. It was congratulations to Amy, Kathy, and Belinda. So if you haven't gotten an email, well actually Kathy and Amy have been in the store, but Belinda hasn't. So Belinda, if you haven't gotten an email, you won. So you have a gift certificate to the store. So, never expires. Come on in whenever. Anyway, so that night, my daughter had been getting sick, I guess that day, unbeknownst to me because I was so busy. And then that night, I woke up at, 2 o'clock in the morning, and with the throat thing, the thing in the back of your throat. And so, why do my hands look so huge? Do you see that? Look, my head looks small and my hands look huge. Okay, so, too much wine? I don't know. So I woke up that night and my throat was killing me. And so I got sick. So, been busy with the store, got sick, then got crazy getting ready for the holidays, and so I missed a couple of weeks, and I really apologize for that because I have a lot of stuff I want to share with you guys, and missing a couple of weeks really cramps my schedule. So originally I was going to do some picking of fiber this week and showing you how to do some rollags off the drum carder, but I don't have that prepared, so I'm going to show you one of the adoption garments that I did for this holiday season. I had several adoptions, and this one was also, there was a scarf and a cowl for Dante, from Dante, and I had spoke about that on the last podcast, and so I'm able to show you one of those today. So anyway, so I think I'm back on schedule now, and I'm really excited to be podcasting again because I really like this. I think it's cool. I think it's great, the feedback we get, and so anyway. All right, so we're in the Northeast. We're in New Jersey, as I've mentioned before, and so on Thursday we had a little snow, and it was about, 2 degrees. No, it's probably like 16, 17 degrees. It was cold. It was windy. It was a nasty day. And Friday wasn't much better. And then yesterday we had freezing rain, sleet, ice, and it was slush, and the farm was covered in white and nasty and cold, and just a bleh day. And I spent all day in the store between customers just knitting. It was nice, but kind of crappy day outside. So today what happens? It's 62 degrees. 62 degrees. These are the days, this is the weather patterns that make people sick and animals sick. So, keeping a careful eye up on everybody. But it's very, very annoying. And I know we complain when it's too hot. We complain when it's too cold. We complain when it gets hot, cold, hot, cold. We're human beings. We're never happy with the weather. So, whatever. But yeah, it was really hot today. So I did go out and shoot some of film of the animals. So I did a couple of little cameo appearances by a few of the animals. So you get to see that. I'm going to cut that in like here. Say hi, Mishi. Say hi, Brandy. So Mishi is like 23 years old. She's the fawn alpaca, and Brandy is the big black llama that everybody loves when they come to the farm because she's very friendly. And there we have Seraphina peeing in the background because, that's what alpacas do. Mishi's an old lady. I'm in my geriatric pen. Well, hi, Thor. How's Thor doing? Thor's so white, he's shining on the camera. Look at that. Hi, Thor. Thor's one of my little champions. And over here we have Mr. Romeo, who's gonna run, and Tony. Blaze, say hi. Blaze, say hi. Oh, nobody wants to do an interview today. No? Maybe Throttle, my llama? Hi, Throttle. You want to say hi? Hi, Throttle. There's Thor again. Anthony. Oh, hey, Marty. Marty was named after my dad. His full name's Mardi Gras. And there's little Hoyt in the background eating like a pig. Hi, Hoyt. Say hi, Hoyt. Hi, Patches. How are you? Here's a little llama. Hi, Patches. Oh, and here comes Chase in the background. That little black boy right there. Sebastian's son. And here's Gabby, one of the friendliest alpacas on the farm. Say hi, Gabby. Hi, Gabby. She just loves to give kisses. Of course, she's going to be shy now because the camera's on. Say hi, Gabby. Hi, Gabby. So there's Brandy, the brown girl right there. And her mom in the background, she has like a white face, that's Juliet. Let's walk down here. Yeah, there's Juliet. Say hi, Juliet. Hi, Juliet. And Angelica's standing next to her. Oh, and here comes Brandy Llama mugging for the camera. Hi, Brandy. How are you? Hi, Brandy. Brandy, you want to give kisses? Guard llamas are great. See how big they are and how they like come right up to you? That's why predators get intimidated. That's why predators get intimidated. Come say hi again, Brandy. I'll just zoom in. Oh, Brandy, look at those big ears you have. And here's some young girls. We're all gonna scatter. There's Rosalita with the white face. She's a rose gray. Bunch of white girls. And let's see, it's Gabby again. Hi, Gabby. Oh my goodness, I can't use this camera today. Hi, Gabby. Hi, Gabby. Okay, I'm back. So, I cut that in. I hope you enjoyed the little segment on the alpacas. And so let's get down to business here. So, do you like my hat, my holiday hat? It was 60 degrees today, but I was not going to let that stop me wearing my hats. So there are two ladies that come into my store for knitting, knit group and just to hang out, and they've become very good friends, and they do craft fairs and make hats and scarves and sweaters, little people sweaters and capes and you know all that stuff, and one knits, one crochets mostly, and names are Rosemary and Caroline, and one of them made this hat. I'm not sure which one, because I kind of stole it from the display. You know, I still have to pay for it and everything, but I stole it from the display. They have a display in my store right now because I'm kind of wiped out from Small Business Saturday weekend, so they have a display in my store of some of their stuff, excuse me, for last minute gift giving, since they're pretty much done with their craft fairs for the year. So, yeah. And I have my little Christmas shirt on there, and an old scarf was one of the first things I knitted, and it's like fun fur mixed with alpaca. Don't ask, kind of crazy. And yeah, so it was 60 degrees today. People walk in the store and they're like, "Are you cold?" And I'm like, "No, it is Christmas and I'm wearing my Christmas hat." So so I'm still working on some things for, I think I mentioned the hat that I was going to spin for. I haven't finished that because I have done so much spinning for custom orders and for people for Christmas gifts in the last couple of weeks that I haven't been able to do anything fun for myself. But we'll get back to that. And we have a couple of exciting things coming up in January and February. One of them being is that I am doing another collaboration with Toad Hollow Bags, Toad Hollow of New Jersey. Their names are Mary Beth and Helen. They're sisters. And we're going to do another collaboration. We're working on picking fabric right now, and I'll be, after Christmas, after we all have like a 5-minute break, we're going to work on that. I'm going to dye the yarn. And also in January, I'm going to be doing a spin/knit along. So there is a local designer who I've known for I don't know how many years, probably a decade. Her name is Sarah, and I believe on Ravelry she goes under Sarah Monte's Hand Knits. Her name's Sarah Punderson, and she is she does awesome designs, and she just created this really cool cowl/shawl that is worsted weight and would be perfect for hand spun. So we're going to do a spinning/knitting spin along. So why do I say slash? Because for those of you that spin, I want you to spin your own yarn for the cowl/shawl. And for those who don't spin but follow my podcast, I want you to knit it. You don't have to spin. So I'm going to give a couple of days a couple of weeks in advance for people to spin their yarn, and then we're going to start the knitting. And we're going to do this all in my Ravelry group, the yarn shop at Alma Park. And I think it'll be really fun. We're also going to do it locally in here during our knit groups for people that want to join in. And so this will be like my first knit along, and I really like the fact that it's a local designer. So you could come in and buy the patterns in my store, or you could buy them on Ravelry when I announce everything officially in the group. And I am going to dye some braids that I think would work really well with this pattern for the spinners, and I'm also going to dye some worsted weight yarn for folks who are not spinners to knit. I think it'll be great fun. I love the pattern, love the pattern, and all the folks that have come into my store that I've shown the pattern to are in love with it and want to join in. So I think that'll be really fun. And also the collaboration with Toad Hollow sometime January as well. So lots of new, we're going to start the new year off good and fun, and hopefully we'll have some fun and we'll have some more stuff to talk about on the podcast. So I've done a lot of spinning over the last couple of weeks, as I said, for Christmas gifts and for folks who have ordered adoptions and everything, and so I haven't really gotten that much stuff done that was fun. But the last time we spoke, I showed you that I was doing a Dante adoption scarf, and I have a cowl to show you today. And this is Dante's fiber in its raw form. So Dante is a grade 3, which means he's still next to skin soft, but he's not baby or royal baby that so many people covet. And for those who always ask the question, baby fiber does not mean it was from a baby. It is the amount of microns in the fiber. So for alpaca, royal baby is under 20 microns, so it is soft. Cashmere is like 14. I think Angora is somewhere around 11 or 12. And alpaca, royal baby alpaca, is under 20. I have on my farm, on their Kriya's first shearing, which is a baby alpaca, I look for like 15, 16, 17 microns in my first shearing. I don't necessarily want them to stay that low because it's really hard to work with Royal Baby Alpaca. You know, carding it's difficult, picking it's difficult, it Velcro VMs, it Velcros to everything. You know, I kind of try to spin that stuff right from the bag after it's clean. But anyway, and then Baby Alpaca is 20 to 23 microns and much easier to work with, very soft as well. And then Dante is in the 23 to 26 micron range, which is grade 3, because Royal Baby's 1, Baby is 2, and the next one, you know, you see the name fine, super fine, whatever. I call it grade 3, and it is super soft still, totally next to skin soft, and is so much easier to work with than Royal Baby and even Baby. So next time, what I really want to show you is how to pick alpaca fiber on a swing picker and how to pull Rolags off a drum carder to spin. I think I've mentioned before in the podcast that Rolags are my favorite way to spin. So I make Rolags off my drum carder when I am going to spin a project. I just like the way that is. Unless, you know, I'm going to go steal a bat or a braid off of my shelf, then, you know, that's fine. But if I am carding fiber specifically for me to spin for something, now I have fiber on my nose, I am going to put that into a Rolag form and spin because I like to do long draw. So next time I want to show you how to pick. I want to show you how to grab a Rolag off a drum carder, and I want to show you how to do long draw spinning. And so that is some of the stuff that I want to try for next time. Now, so that was Dante's fiber, and so then I spun a bunch of yarn because, as I said, I had 2 adoptions for him, one a scarf and one a cowl. So I spun a bunch of yarn. I still have a bunch left. When I am spinning for a pattern, I always overspin the amount of, not overspin, I always spin more yarn than I think I'm going to need. Now, I did go a little overboard on here. There's an extra like 2 ounces of worsted weight yarn, which is fine because I can make myself a pair of fingerless mitts or something, or maybe a hat. I don't know. But I overspun a lot. Again, I spun too much. I mean, not overspun the yarn. And because the worst thing is when you're working with hand spun is trying to play yarn chicken. Because if you lose in the game of yarn chicken and you run out of fiber, I mean you run out of yarn, you have to go spin more. Then you have to set it. Then you have to wait for it to dry. Then you have to roll it into a ball. Then you can finish your project. So, you know, it could take days for you to get back to your project. It's not like when you're working with yarn off the shelf or yarn from your stash, you run out, hopefully you have another skein or another ball or whatever. If you run out, you just go grab another ball. So I try never to play yarn chicken with hand spun. I always make more than I think I'm gonna need, and then I use it. Or I put it on the shelf for sale if there's extra. And this, I really spun a lot extra because I weighed this and it was like 1.9 ounces extra from 2 projects. So, and that's fine because I'll use it. And, you know, pretty much done with Dante's fleece for the year. This was his 2015 fleece. So that's good. Good, I'm done. So I can move on with his next fleece. So here's the cowl. Again, when I do my adoption program, all of my cowls or scarves are original designs. I pretty much knit on the fly and you know, do stuff that is original because I like to give people a one-of-a-kind object. So I'm going to put this on. Let me take off my funky scarf here. Let me put this on. I don't know if you could see that. I'll show it. I'll show it. But, you know, it's about 7.5, 8 inches wide. And I didn't measure how long it was. I'll measure it. How wide it is. I mean, the circumference. It is about 32 inches, 33 inches. So here it is. This is folded. So Can you see that? It's a nice little cowl with a nice little design. It's kind of simple, but it shows off the yarn. And I spun this worsted weight yarn. I used actually a size 10 needle. Normally on a worsted you would use maybe a 7 or 8, but I used a size 10 because I wanted it to be drapey and, you know, have some nice lace effects. So there it is. And I'll put up some pictures too. I took some pictures of it on my dress form. But it's already blocked. I steam blocked it. I put my label in. So I put my label in all of my handmade stuff, unless it's a really lacy shawl and it would make it look funny. So I put my label in. I did notice when I was spinning that there's some Angelina spun into this, even though it was supposed to be 100% alpaca. Angelina gets everywhere. It is like, what's the word? I don't know. Some days I think I'm a unicorn and glitter just flies out of my butt. You know, so even though I vacuum my drum carder before I make roll ags for a new project, or, you know, in between every color run, you know, Angelina just doesn't seem to ever want to go away. So yeah, there's a couple of strands in here, but such is life. So that was one of Dante's projects that I haven't shipped out yet. That's going to be shipped out tomorrow. And I want to show you the, you know, the worsted weight, how I spun it. So it is between a 10 and a 12. Let's see if you can see here on the control card. Okay, it's between a 10 and a 12. Now, if you want to spin, this is getting back to spinning for a pattern, and it's important when we, you know, if you're going to join in the spin along, the pattern is a worsted weight yarn, which I chose because I think most everybody can spin worsted weight. Whereas if you get into fingering, not everybody can spin that thin, especially beginners. And but pretty much everybody can spin a worsted weight if they've been spinning for a little bit of time. So when you are spinning a worsted weight yarn, okay, you're going to want to make, if you're going to make a 2-ply, you're going to want to make your singles, if you're spinning like a 10 to 12 worsted weight yarn, you want to make your singles 22 to 24 wraps per inch, okay? When you make a 22 to 24 wraps per inch yarn, single, when you double it, when you ply it, it's going to be 10 to 12 wraps per inch, okay? So when you do a 2-ply, you cut in half the number of your single, and that's going to be approximately, and I say approximately because it depends on how tightly or loosely you ply and the amount of bloom in a particular yarn, fiber, excuse me, in a particular fiber. I knew that Dante wouldn't bloom that much because I've worked with him for enough years. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of crimp in his fiber. I pretty much think he's what we consider in the alpaca industry a silky, which is kind of a mix between Surrey and a Wakaya. So, you know, the Surrey is the really slick fiber that has the tremendous silk-like drape when you spin it and knit it, and the Wakaya is the fuzzy teddy bear looking ones. So I think he's a silky. So he has more of a drape than some of my other fuzzier animals. So I knew he wasn't going to bloom too much when I spun him, because I've spun him many, many times. You know, you don't always know that when you're spinning a new fiber. Now, Jacob, for example, Jacob wool, I know that when I spun for a contest 2 years ago, I spun this Jacob wool, and I spun it, and I had never spun this particular fiber. I mean, I've spun Jacob, but I've never spun this fiber from this particular prep. And it was a local shepherd that I bought the wool from. Normally I spin with commercial, and I didn't have this same result. But so I spun this Jacob fiber, and it was a 2-ply, and I spun it. I wanted it to be a DK. So I wanted it to be like 14 to 16 wraps per inch. So I spun the singles pretty thin. I spun them at like a 30 wraps per inch. And it looked fine after I applied it. It looked like a DK weight. It was about 14 wraps per inch. Then when I washed it, set it, I wet set my fiber. I don't steam set. I wet set my yarn, dunking it, you know, putting it in hot water, washing it. I also like to give it another wash because, you know, I put a lot of lotion on my hands when I'm spinning in the winter because my hands are really dry. So, you know, I don't want that to stay on the fiber. So I do wash, I launder my yarn in very hot water so that it sets. I may thwack it if it needs it, and then I hang it up to dry. Unweighted, never weighted. So anyway, so when I washed this Jacob, what looked like a 14 wraps per inch DK when it was plied, first of all, it lost a lot of yardage because it went, and it turned out to be a worsted weight yarn, like 10. So it really scrunched up. So you have to, if that's crucial to you and you're not sure the way the fiber is going to behave once it's spun, I suggest you do a little sample of a couple yard sample, just like when you do a gauge swatch in knitting. It's okay to sample fiber. Do a couple of yards, spin a couple of yards, and set it the way you normally would and see how it expands, because you might have to adjust your spinning to fit the pattern. So that's kind of my tip for today is when you're working with a new fiber, make sure you know what it's going to kind of work out to be. Now I'm going to do a little wraps per inch demonstration of the Dante yarn on my ruler. Remember, you just take a plain ruler, okay, and you're going to wrap your yarn around a 1-inch segment, okay, don't overlap, okay, and go, make it sure they're snug up to each other, and 6, 7, oops. And this is good than just using a control card, because control card is just like one little piece where you could have been thicker or thinner at that spot, right? Whereas when you do it over 1 inch, you're getting more of an average. So let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I said it was between a 10 and a 12. So if you look here, there it is, wrapped up. And there is 11 little lines there in that 1-inch segment. So it is a worsted weight yarn. I do something called consistently inconsistent. I do not, when I'm spinning when I'm spinning for my adoptions or when I'm spinning for my store, if I'm spinning for a client and they want something perfectly balanced, I try to get it perfect. But when I'm doing, what I call, it's my signature, is called consistently inconsistent. So it's perfectly balanced, meaning that, it doesn't twist when you take it off the wheel from plying. It's perfectly balanced, and it's good to work with. It's well plied, it won't split, all that stuff. But it is not even throughout the entire skein. So you're not going to get exactly wraps per inch of 12 throughout the entire skein. And I do that by design because I want to distinguish my hand spun from the mill spun yarns that are in my store. The mill spun yarns are from my animals are obviously mill spun, so they're perfect. They're consistent throughout because the machine did it. And while I can spin really consistently, I don't like it. I want some inconsistencies in my hand spun because it's hand spun and it should look a little like a human being did it. So I make it, and I call it consistently inconsistent. It's kind of my signature. So that's the way that is. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time tonight because I didn't, you know, I don't have the stuff prepared like I really wanted to, and I'm getting back in the swing of things. And so next week, I'm gonna make a commitment that I'm gonna have a couple of things to show you. Next time, I'm going to show you how to pick fiber on a swing picker. Okay, alpaca. I'm going to pick alpaca because a lot of people are afraid to put alpaca through their picker. They're afraid that it's going to rip it apart. Not true. I can even do baby or royal baby in my swing picker if I'm very careful. Normally I pick that stuff by hand, unless I'm in a real rush or whatever. But you can do it, it is possible. But normally I pick that by hand, but it's possible. But I'm going to show you, I have a grade 3 fiber that I'm going to pick, and then we're going to make some rollags on the drum carder. Because next year in 2017, I'm going to be starting a new line of rollags called, well, I haven't come up with the name, but they're going to have surprises in the middle. So you're not going to know what the fiber in the middle is until you spin it. So it's going to be kind of a surprise. So anyway, so I'm going to show you how to make rollags, and if we have the time, I might show you how to do a long draw on a wheel, or if we have to postpone that till the following week, we will. And I'm going to show you the fiber that I've picked out for my woolly wormhead hat. I might even have some of it spun by then, because I mean, it's a whole week, and pretty much all my orders will be done and out the door tomorrow for the year, because after that, you know, nothing is promised for Christmas if people ordered online, because now, you know, I can't be for sure that the postal service will get it to you on time. So after tomorrow, stuff gets shipped. Well, actually everything's done. All my orders will be caught up by tomorrow. And obviously the store will be open all week, but you know, the stuff online, if they're ordering it now and it needs to be made, they're not going to necessarily get it in time for Christmas. So that's about it. So I've recovered from whatever illness is going around, and I know people who have had strep throat, bronchitis, all that stuff, and you know, it was really miserable. I even managed to wrap all of my daughter's presents, so that was good. I did that yesterday. And you know, holidays are a lot, so I'm looking forward to them being over and getting back to normal, so that I can get back to normal and do some fun spinning too, fun knitting, because you know, I like to do stuff that's just fun and not necessarily on a deadline. So when I speak to you again, it's probably going to be after Christmas, because you know, today's Sunday and next Sunday is Christmas. Can you believe that? It's a week away. I think I was complaining just like the other day about the fact that it was like 120 degrees in August. So, you know, the days go by quickly as you get older. Anyway, so next week, do some more fun stuff. If there's something you definitely want to see, please, you know, make a comment here under the video and let me know. And like the video, let me know you're liking what I'm doing. Give me comments, give me feedback. And it's fine to do here, or if you want to contact me through Instagram or Facebook, that's fine too. Or if you know, if you're a customer that comes into my store, or you want to send me an email, whatever is your preferred method of contact. And that's about it. So hopefully next time I'll have a little more information, maybe on the Toad Hollow collaboration. Maybe we'll have picked a fabric by then, I don't know, because they're busy as well. And maybe I'll have done some test dyeing of the colors I want to do for the spin along. But I will definitely have some fun stuff spun up, because starting Wednesday, it's all about fun spinning. because that's my zen and that's what I want to do, and I want to get back to some fun stuff. Again, if you want to see anything that I haven't covered or that you want to see covered, please let me know. Comment here or on one of your other forms of social media, and like my video and subscribe to the page if you haven't. Okay, thanks. Bye.